Now I hope you guys watched last week's video, which was a much needed topic to talk about, guys, yeah? Simply because it affects everyone. Now what I actually talked about was acquiring a property. Not the conventional way, are you buying it normally? No, but actually buying it as a company, guys. So this week is actually a continuation from last week's video. So if you haven't checked out last week's, make sure you do so now before watching this one, okay? And so specifically, what I'm going to talk about in this video, guys, is the other things, yeah, that you have to consider whenever you're buying a property as a company strictly to rent out. Trust me, there's a lot of important stuff you need to do.
You know what you're watching.
Back in the days, yeah, it was so sick. You could use your mortgage interest rate. So the amount your property gains in value, you could use that as an offset for your profits, guys. And by that, what I mean is the difference. That's what you would be taxed on rather than just purely profits. Now, it don't cut. It doesn't run, guys. The government doesn't play around like that anymore. You can't do that now. Why wasn't I born earlier, guys? I could have utilized this. But the good thing is, buying a property as a company and renting it out, you can still take advantage of that perk, guys. And when it comes to buying multiple properties and renting those out, yeah, you're going to want to keep your tax as low as possible, guys, and keep more of your profits. But you guys know me, I cannot lie to you, yeah? There is one thing that is such a nuisance when you buy a property as a company, and it's basically filling out the yearly self-assessment forms. Oh my gosh, how repetitive this is and tedious at times. Now, if you guys are like me, yeah, and don't know what you're doing with this form, but you're lucky enough to have a sister-in-law that's a solicitor to basically hold your hand while you're filling out that form, then yeah, you're gonna have some trouble dealing with this. Love you, sis. And oh yeah, did I mention that these forms have to be completed each and every year, people? You can't get rid of it. It's a legal requirement by the government. But one thing that I do have to say on this topic is that it's like anything in life. The more and more you do it, the better at it you become. Okay, now there are also websites, there are also apps that actually make this process easier for you. It's nothing like back in the days where you basically you're just pushed into the sea and told you need to swim back. Yeah, it's not like that. There's more help, there's more assistance around. And if worse comes to worse and you're completely clueless, guys, then you can always go to a solicitor and you can always fill out the process there. But even then, I would say the first go, fully utilize it, take notes if you have to, so that you got to think about it, guys. It's going to be a repetitive process each and every year. Yes, there are reasonable prices for getting a solicitor to professionally do this for you, but you're going to save yourself so much if you actually learn how to do it by yourself. And speaking of legal things, guys, the government also requires you to do other tasks, yeah, whenever you buy a property and rent it out as a company. There's other stuff to do, not just those forms. Most noticeable thing is that buying a property as a company is so much more tedious than the already tedious process of acquiring a property the normal way. Much longer, yeah? Just thinking about it is long, guys. You have to get
proof of funds, get your bank to show that, give that to a solicitor, be with them, approve it while you're there with them, get them to send copies to your mortgage provider, get a mortgage, sign the mortgage, and then in front of your solicitor as well, and then send it back to the mortgage provider.
And oh yeah, if you started the company with other people, then you probably have to have basically, you have to spend more time and more money setting up the company the way that the government wants it done. And what you need to prove to the government is that you're able to sustain this company, which sustains this property. So effectively, it all bottles down to you guys, yeah? But even with that, technically, you get it back in the long run, guys, because what you're allowed to do as a company, which is a sick thing, yeah, it's pretty cool, is that you're allowed to claim anything associated with the company and claim that as an offset to your profits for the following self-assessment tax year, guys. And so basically in short terms, yeah, any profits you get, you minus all of the money that you personally spent on that company associated around that property, all of those, and you minus it from that profit, and the government only tax you on that smaller chunk of profit. Everything else is tax free. But the important part here, guys, is to keep your receipts, yeah? keep them and organize them. Oh my gosh, yeah. I want your file cabinets to be looking like Mary Poppins bags, yeah. Because you really need those receipts to prove that you've paid for those things, and can only claim it back once you've proven that, yeah. So it's important that you basically keep everything. And just to give you guys a scope on how much this covers, yeah, it covers a lot. Let me give you some examples. It includes the legal expenses that I just talked about, yeah, so you can claim that back technically in the next tax year, and so on. The amount of money you spend going down to see that property. So if you take airplane tickets, fly over and so on, or you drive, the money spent on petrol, keep all those receipts. Money spent on food, guys, keep all those receipts, guys, while you're trying to do up that property and get it to a rentable stage. Money that you spent actually doing up that property, so all the labor work, all of the physical costs, buying new paintwork, all of that stuff, you need to keep all that, because you can claim it back the following self-assessment tax year, guys. As you guys can see, it's a pretty sick perk. So in the long run, I think you guys can see why I'm such an advocate for buying a property as a company when you're strictly renting it out. Just because, yes, you spend money, you spend time, you spend just like stress doing it up and looking after the property. It's an additional thing to consider to the already strenuous, like stressful process of buying a property. Yes, that's true, but the things that it offers you in the long run, it works out cheaper for you. Save yourself thousands of pounds, guys, in terms of tax claiming back, in terms of paying less tax. Not to talk about the separation it offers you, protecting you from that property. It's your favorite YouTuber, guys, Daniel Solari. I talk about stock market investments, property investments, financial management too, giving you guys that consistent content. You know, before you guys can go about doing whatever you're going to do for the rest of the day, say with me, like, subscribe and share people. What? DS Learning Finance. Whoa. Bye, guys.
Whoa.
Ah.